What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and here we are with another showcase video for the recently released Super Evolution of Crocodile. The cool thing about this is that this is the first, specific game mode legend that's actually received a Super Evolution. You know, this is the first Super Evo for a Kizuna legend, for a TM legend, for a Rumble legend, etc. This is one of the first units, or is the first unit in one of those categories to actually get a Super Evolution, which is a really big deal. So I would say look forward to more of these characters coming in the future. And just a little bit of a heads up as well, I did see this on Twitter, the fact that I completely forgot about the fact that Crocodile was actually, he actually released 3 years ago, pretty much to the date. He came out as the half anniversary treasure map 3 years ago for the 7.5 anniversary. So I feel like that's probably the reason why he was selected as the 6+ for this month. But either way, let's actually get into talking about what Crocodile provides you. Now remember, he does have level limit break upon super evolving. My Crocodile is only at level limit break 3, so he does not have the fully buffed special ability. However, he doesn't really receive that many buffs from his level limit break. So I would say if you are not, if you don't have a lot of investments in your Crocodile, I don't think it's the end of the world, because what he does receive from the level limit break, it's really not that big of a deal. So we'll get to it though. Let's actually talk about his captain ability. Of course, he does have 2 different captain abilities, one from the base super evolution, and then it does get a buff from level limit break. My one is the buffed captain ability, but as I said, the difference isn't that substantial. So he does give 2 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest, that's actually really nice, allowing you to get through content a little bit faster. He does have the boost now to driven and cerebral units. So the thing is when this guy dropped, he was solely focused on boosting cerebral, and now that he is super evolved, he is now boosting driven, which is one of the things I thought was probably going to happen. They do this a lot with super evolutions, and it makes sense as well. I mean, he had driven in his classes to begin with. Why not just add a whole pool of characters that he can get access to now, which is exactly what they did, and it's a great thing that they did do it, meaning he does have more use cases in the future. And then he does state that if you're at low HP, if you're at 50% or below, then you get a 5.5 times attack boost instead of the 5.25. He will also provide the massive 5.5 times attack boost for 3 turns whenever you use his special ability. And also the fact that he has this effect where he sets the status of a special. So when you first start the quest, it's going to be set at your special will be at status 0, and then when you have status 1 through using his super class, then the special ability and and all of that will be buffed. It's kind of a weird thing. Not too many characters have this. One that comes to mind straight away is Cross Guild. They have this as well, where when you start the quest, they are at status 0, which does 1 effect. It can go to status 1, it does an additional effect, and then you go to status 2, and then it has a different effect again. So yeah, it's just that you get slightly different buffs as you go along. Another thing that Croc has in his captain ability, which is very cool, is the 10% HP cut every time you enter a new stage. It's pretty neat, and he also provides massive damage reduction of 20% and 4,000 healing per turn. And that's at the level limit break captain. I believe just with Super Evo, it's a 2,000 heal per turn. Either way, lots of healing, lots of damage reduction. So his captain ability is good, but in today's day and age, where you really want captains that have gimmick removals, that's where he kind of falls short, because a lot of the times, running double Croc, it's actually really nice in terms of the healing, the damage reduction, the damage, the cooldown, everything's really good, but not having gimmick removal in modern content is really bad. So I will say that he's probably not going to be used that often as a captain. Maybe for random treasure map fights he's going to be useful, but as it stands now, he's not going to be used in PKAs as captain, most likely. It's just stuff like that. Whenever we get random content, he's just not going to be a viable captain, in my opinion, because the gimmick removal, or the lack thereof of gimmick removal, is a big issue. The superclass effect is pretty cool. You need to have one of the Baroque Works characters. You can use Luffy. You can have Vivi as your trigger character as well. Buggy, Ivankov, and Jinbei are also added to the list, obviously tying into the Impel Down stuff. Or you can be at 50% or below HP. So very easy condition to activate. The effect gives a 10% health cut to the enemy, to all enemies, and then changes Empty Block Bomb Recovery G into matching. And then the added effect with the Super Evolution now is that his superclass will generate an HP guard, a 70% HP guard for 1 turn, and it makes the special status go to 1. So that's pretty cool that he gets access to all of that. Great superclass special. HP guard is a really nice effect because, of course, the way that he's kind of built, being at low HP, you want to have some type of way to protect yourself, and this allows you to mitigate damage from burn, mitigate damage from poison, mitigate damage from rush Sugo specials if you opt to go down that route as well. So overall, I think that's a really nice effect. 70% HP guard is okay. Helps you with the pain debuff as well, which is quite common. But, you know, it's not the end of the world. It's a pretty decent effect. And then, of course, the special ability, which gives cooldown reduction to Cerebral and Driven. He does have the crewmate ability to resist special reverse as well. So that's kind of neat. He does provide paralysis removal, 6 turns of it. And then if you have him at level limit break 5, the 6 turns becomes 7. So that's actually pretty clutch. And then he also will give Cerebral and Driven characters 2.5 times attack boost for 2 turns. And then if you're below 50% HP or your set status special is at 1, then it's going to further increase that attack boost by 0.25. So it goes to a 2.75 times attack boost. And will also give you a chain boundary of a 3.0 to 40 for 3 turns. That's if you're at 50% or below or have the special status at 1. If you don't have the special status at 1, then you're just going to get the normal attack boost of 2.5, and the chain boundary goes from a 3.0 if you have all the conditions met, goes down to 2.75, so slightly less. But the big thing is that the chain boundary only lasts for 2 turns if you don't have the set status on his special. The thing is that you can't set your special status to 1 when he is a crewmate. The only way you can basically get the buffed version of the special is if you actually have your HP at 50% or below. So that's the downside to him. So like that's basically all he does. Of course, he doesn't have rush, tandem, or final tap. So the way that I kind of see it is that this character is definitely a decent 6+. He's not an awful 6+ by any stretch. Like, we've definitely had worse 6+s in the game, but it just feels like they didn't change enough for people to warrant to use him. I feel like there's not enough of a point of difference to really go out of your way to use him compared to some other Cerebral or Driven focused characters in the game. I will say though, if you don't have some of the more recently released Cerebral and Driven units, this character is going to serve you very, very well. And I will say that adding the HP guard into his superclass, that is a nice touch, and that may be a potential reason to use him if you have to deal with heavy HP cuts from pain, burn, poison, etc. So that is probably the best way to use him, is that if you don't have some of these other key units, he may be good because of that alone. But the rest of his effects are mainly focused on like damage reduction, you know, healing, and then just doing damage. Like, he doesn't really do a whole lot. He's like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. So that's the way I kind of see it. I think he's a decent 6+, but we've definitely had way better 6+s this year. I'm looking at UV3 Rayleigh. But anyways, that's going to wrap it up from me. Love to hear your thoughts and opinions about 6+ Crocodile down below in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.